Heavy Rain is a murder mystery game with poorly written characters, objectified women, janky controls, and often flat voice acting.
Jason! Jason!
That being said, I absolutely loved every second of playing this game. The story of the game follows 4 core characters, starting with Ethan Mars. Ethan is a father of 2 who seems to have a lot of trouble keeping track of his sons. Now, this leads to his first son, Jason, getting killed in a car accident, his wife blaming him for it, them becoming separated, and then his second son getting kidnapped by the Origami Killer. Next, you meet Scott Shelby, who is a private investigator who is hired by the families of the Origami Killer's victims, but he then keeps interviewing the parents of the Origami Killer victims, so, you know, that makes sense. Then there's Norman Jayden, an FBI agent who is sent to investigate the Origami Killer. He's also got this like super cool glove and glasses that shows him clues and whatnot to help him solve crimes. And he is an absolute drug addict for some Walter White blue meth in a test tube shit called tryptocane. And then finally we have who I think is sadly the worst written character in the game, Madison Paige. Madison's a journalist that has insomnia, and then she tries to hook up with a guy who's just trying to save his son's life. Now, I went into this game with one goal and one goal only. Give Ethan Mars a happy ending. It's all I cared about. I watched this man lose his son in the first 10 minutes of the game, and then shortly after that, we saw him, after being separated from his wife, he lost his other son. The man deserved a good ending. That's all I wanted. This is a quick summary of the story that myself and Twitch chat experienced on our run through, but there's a lot more to the game than what is in this summary. After Ethan's son is kidnapped, he receives a box that has trials that he has to complete to get the address of his son, Sean. Now, these trials include things like driving the wrong way on the highway, climbing through electric wires, killing a drug dealer, which we didn't do, cutting off one of your fingers, and drinking poison. Now, personally, I could not bring myself to make Ethan a murderer. However, we did eventually figure out where Sean was being held. Now, while completing these tasks, Ethan meets Madison at a motel he's staying at. She helps to patch him up, tries to hook up with him, and then when she gets rejected, she goes and investigates the Origami Killer. Meanwhile, Jayden is clashing with Lieutenant Carter Blake while they investigate the Origami Killer case. Blake believes that Ethan is the killer, while Jayden believes otherwise. Meanwhile, Scott Shelby is out there doing a bunch of investigation into this rich guy with his prostitute girlfriend, who eventually gets killed by said rich dude's dad, causing Scott to go full John Wick. Probably the coolest moment in the game, if I'm being honest. Now, Jayden then overdoses on his blue drug while trying to figure out who the Origami Killer is. Madison eventually figures out that the Origami Killer is Scott Shelby. Scott blows up his apartment. Somehow Madison survives while hiding inside of a fridge like she's freaking Indiana Jones. The 3 still living characters then make their way to the warehouse where Sean is being held. Ethan saves his son, gets shot by Shelby, who then chases Madison to the top of the warehouse, and then Scott is shot and killed by our boy Ethan. Ethan got his happy ending. That's all I cared about. He gets a fresh start with Sean, and without his bitch of an ex-wife. Madison went and wrote a book about the whole thing. Norman got buried in a cemetery, and Scott got buried with his brother. Now, despite the faults of the game, I was entirely enthralled into wondering if Ethan was going to be able to save his son in time, and fearing that I was going to make a wrong decision and get him killed. I kept wondering who the killer was, thinking up all these theories. My main theory for most of the game was that it was actually going to be Lieutenant Blake. In many ways, this game feels like a perfect whodunit story, and I loved nearly every moment of the game, with the exception of what felt like Madison just being used as a sex object. So overall, despite the bad writing, the janky controls, I would give this game a solid 5 out of 10. I think it's a perfectly average game. But hey, maybe tell me how wrong I am in the comments down below, whether you liked it more than that or you absolutely hated the game. Now, we should also have a Mafia Definitive Edition video here shortly. Sorry this video took so long to get out. I've been sick for the past couple weeks, so I do apologize. That being said, we should be getting to hopefully weekly uploads here soon. But hey, check me out over on Twitch. I play all these games live, and I plan to have many, many more games in the pipeline. We've got Days Gone, I believe, coming up after Mafia. And yeah, I got a whole list. We're going to have some fun. Thanks for watching, guys. I love you. Bye.